Well, our pain is our friend. So rather than rejecting it, if I accept it, just the way if I'm shaking hand with my pain, I might as well accept it. The second part is we have a tremendous amount of ability to send messages to our brain, how to keep it in a calm place, no different than a wild horse. It can be calm, collected, and to our service if we know how to use its services. So with that said, we can use some very effective distraction skills, which can be profound how a brain can begin to reflect rather than reject. And with that, we also have many other ways to use our senses. If I'm smelling something wonderful, I'm tasting something gracious, hearing something that is remarkably calming, my eye is not always on the pain that is just sucking all the energy from me. So we have tremendous ability to distract ourselves to what benefits us rather than keeps us in agony and pain. Father Athanasius is remarkable in his wisdom, in his storytelling, and collecting to help people cure their challenges in a healing manner, in an accepting manner. So I thought that he can tell us a little story about how that could be done.
So this is a story from ancient China. And there was a village. And in this village, the emperor wanted to build a shrine. And he promised the villagers a great reward to build this shrine. The problem was that there was a well where the shrine was to be, so the villagers had to fill up the well. So they got a donkey and decided to use the donkey for mud and sand to fill in the well. And so they did, and they were filling in the well, but an accident happened. And the donkey lost its footing and fell into the well. And the villagers thought and said, it's going to take us too long to get this donkey out of the well. And they were thinking of the reward and what they were going to get from the emperor. And they decided, well, we're going to sacrifice the donkey and just leave the donkey in the well and just keep on shoveling mud and sand into the well. So they did so. And for a while, the poor donkey was wailing and crying, and they kept on pushing the mud and the sand into the well. And then after a while, they didn't hear any more wailing, and they didn't hear any more crying. And they were puzzled what was going on. So maybe they thought the donkey had died. So they decided to look in the well. And when they looked in the well, they saw the donkey was quite alive and quite well. What the donkey had done was, as they were throwing in the mud and throwing in the sand, he just shrugged it off and stomped on it with his feet. And the more he did, the higher he became in the well. And when he reached the level where he could jump out, he jumped out of the well and trotted off with his head held high. The story really shows that sometimes when we experience negative things in our lives, like pain and all the negative things that get thrown at us, not because of our own fault, but something has happened. And so a lot of people say, well, what am I going to do? So they cry, or, there's nothing I can do about it. But like the donkey, wait a minute, there's something I can do. There's something creative I can do with this. Rather than let it bury me, I can do something. And so the wisdom comes is that he took the negative and made it positive. And out of that, he got out of the situation. And it's just using that kind of energy and creativity. There's something I can do. Even with the negative, I can change it.
Feeling helpless, depressed, and in the darkness of pain all the time is no easy task. I have just saw a very fine man who had struggled with pain, due to an accident that occurred. It changed his life all the way around. He does not feel like an adequate father, does not feel like an adequate husband and an adequate person. So his life is very limited, and we are empowering him small steps at a time to understand how pain can transform his life. And often I believe pain is a threshold for new beginnings. So we can go through a drive-through pain clinic and say, I want pain management number 6. Good luck with that. All right? It's going to come back and haunt you, so you might as well take it in a mindful manner, because drive-through is not going to work. It has not going through many, many surgeries, many, many procedures. Accepting, using the wisdom, and beginning to use the skills, which are very powerful, to become empowered how our pain mechanisms work in our body, and how to strengthen our inner body to become more skillful to handle those skills of handling the pain that we are enduring. I have seen many, many people who came in almost on a wheelchair and left walking, because they were able to get out of that fearful mode into finding what they really had in them that they could use to their advantage rather than what they had lost.
By using not just stories, but also using imagery and using meditation and using breathing and all of that to help the client and myself too, to see, is there an opportunity for me to empower and to find in this negative pain or anxiety, whatever I'm feeling, is that, wait a minute, I can use this to help me, rather than, you know, as the story says, let the dirt on me. I can shrug it off and use it as a platform to build on. And that's why it works.
Recognizing there is help to assist using profoundly effective mechanisms in our body to our service. These mechanisms are really strengthening these systems which can begin to produce our opiums of natural abilities again. Our interneurons which are struggling and tired, how to strengthen them again. And those skills are being used to help foster the ability to become mindful again, how to live with mindful pain.